excited to see that match. Barcelona opening with this new era of Barcelona, shiny new signings, especially Robert Lewandowski. I remember even in our pre-match joking, that same Thomas Muller joke that we call him Robert Lewandowski, and eventually it ended 0-0. But the second match, they definitely came out roaring. Lewandowski getting on the goal sheet, and Ansu Fati just reminding us why we love Ansu Fati and forget how young he is, but so talented and weirdly so experienced too. And against top opposition in Real Sociedad, and we know that going to San Sebastian, getting a win there is not easy, but somehow Barcelona almost made it look that way, right?
Everyone forgot who Ansu Fati is.
Yeah.
You know, with this transfer window in Barcelona, everyone were like, okay, we have to talk about Dembele's renewal. We have to talk about Rafinha signing, but everyone forgot about Ansu Fati. And Ansu Fati is the top player for me at Barcelona. Well, Leo Messi used to be in the past. He's mentioned to be that new guy. And with the injuries that he had and he struggled, he said, okay, I'm here. And I'm going to be the next massive player for Barca. And I'm still young because I don't know how old is he, but he might be around 20, 21 years old yet. So that's why, still we have to talk about Dembele. We have to talk about Rafinha. We have to talk about Lewandowski indeed, because they are, experienced and really talented top players. But Ansu Fati, my God, when he came into the pitch, it was like, like a fresh air for Barca, and proving that he's still at his best and he's going to be even higher. So that's why, I'm in love with Ansu Fati. I think he has everything. And if he recovers from his injuries, as he should, he's going to be, the key player that Barca needed and the Barca didn't have last season.
It's funny that you should say that as well, because obviously we were trying to figure out how, or this new identity of this new looking Barcelona team in that first match against Rayo Vallecano, which ended up being a stalemate and just really a poor match, I think, overall. But the second match against Real Sociedad, which again, we keep saying top opposition and not an easy place to play. But Barca made it look good. And I remember we were speaking to our colleague and former Barcelona player, Luis Garcia. And I know you said what you say about Ansu Fati. He actually says about Dembele, he says, forget your Lewandowskis and everyone else that looks good. He says, for me, Dembele is the most important player for Barcelona. He has a lot of time for him. He also got on the score sheet too. And he's a new man. He seems like a new man. He's happy and he's scoring. So your thoughts on Dembele and how, I guess, Barca really did something well in keeping him?
Well, Dembele is an outstanding player, and I understand, and I think that everyone now understands why Xavi was so focused on getting him in the squad. If you want to go for a Dembele type player in the market now, if it costs more than 80 million euros, that's why Barcelona wanted him to stay. I wanted him to renew his contract for Barca. Now everyone understands that, and now everyone is like, like you mentioned, okay, he has changed. He's not the guy that arrived in Barcelona that he didn't really have good habits in terms of food, in terms of, going out every night and these things. Now, if he's focused, he's one of the top 10 players worldwide. And we all agree with that because, he can play with the right or the left foot at the same time. He's quick and he's fast. He has something that, a World Cup champion told me once, not really a long time ago. He said, you know what Dembele has that none of the players of Barca or Real Madrid has? He has something really, really different. Now we are in a football that is very associating, in between people of quality like Benzema, Modric, Ansu Fati. They associate in between them, but he has something that no one of them has, and only Messi has, which is like, the dribbling. And that is the key for Barca. When you are stuck in games like, for example, Rayo Vallecano, that is when he appears and when he comes out and he says like, okay, give me the ball because I'm going to break this defense. And this is something that could be great for Barca this season for sure.
I suppose with that said, before we move on then, from what we've seen of Barcelona, let's be honest, what people want to see is a title race this time. Obviously, Barcelona gave it their best shot despite the turbulent year they went through last season, and they did finish second, but with a massive gap, which we know by Barcelona standards, that's not going to cut it. Now they've made some really good signings. From what we've seen from the first two matches, could we have a title race? Because let's be honest, at the moment, we can't really trust Atletico de Madrid for one.
Not at this moment with Atletico de Madrid, but I'm sure they're going to win and they're going to be up there because of the squad that they have. But I think it's going to be a duel in between Real Madrid and Barca. Real Madrid, for me, they have still a little bit of advantage if you compare it to Barca, because I think they have the same blood than last year, and they win easily every game, at least in these two first legs. Yeah, and for me, the problem that Barca could face this season is the adaptation of the new kids that are in the squad. Maybe, I don't know, Koundé doesn't really get adapted that fast, or maybe, for example, Rafinha. Well, let's see. It depends on that. But I'm pretty sure that by the end of the season, they're going to be fighting for LaLiga tournament, because they have players, they have quality, and they have, that squads that maybe Xavi last year didn't have, because if you don't have Rafinha, you have Dembele. If you don't have Dembele, you're going to have Ansu Fati. If not, you're going to have Kessie or Christensen at the back. They have enough players to choose in between to face Real Madrid.
I think so as well. I think I'm definitely very excited about this Barcelona team, just because, and I mean, you mentioned obviously Ansu Fati, who still looks good, Dembele, who's been great, Rafinha, who's an amazing signing. But again, Lewandowski, let's be honest, I think what Lewandowski does is, because he's such a proven goal scorer, if he can offer, you're expecting over 20 goals a season, maybe even closer to 30. And I think that is just something that Barcelona needed. We saw so many times last year where they created chances, as Barcelona do, but they didn't have anybody to finish off these chances perfectly, like a proven, tried and true, you can confide in goal scorer. And I thought they had that in Sergio Aguero. And when Sergio Aguero came on, we were like, yeah, you see. But then unfortunately, we know what happened, and he's had to retire early from Barcelona. So I think having Lewandowski there just gives them a bit more, I suppose, calmness, knowing that they have, all you have to do is get the ball to him, and 90% of the time he's going to put it on the back of the net. So I think that's going to be an exciting.
He's gonna be the Pichichi, the main.
You did
scorer.
say that. You did say that. I remember in your predictions. I don't know who I put yet though, but it's gonna be exciting times.
Thank you very much for watching ESPNFC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.